Hi, today we're going to talk about 10 key things that really changed my perspective on comparison. And I think these are really essential for you to know. That way you can go differently about life. So give me a bit of your time and let's dive right into this video. So the first one is I stopped seeing myself as a level. By that I mean, when you're constantly comparing yourself, you kind of either see yourself superior or lower than someone because it's you against someone. So you're always in this state of, am I better or not than this person? Even if it's not intended to think about, you just go into this automatic state of your brain being used to ranking yourself a certain way. And when I stopped consuming these things that constantly put me in the situation of comparison, I just stopped viewing myself as a level because at the end of the day, you have to realize you're your own self. You can't really compare yourself to others. And I know that there's a lot of situations that kind of put us in these situations. For example, maybe that there's someone in your life that's constantly comparing yourself to someone, and you just grew up that way with someone constantly reminding you that a person was better than you or that they're doing this better than you. And that always just puts you in a position of viewing yourself as a level of, oh, are you doing this the way it should be done? And then when you get older, especially as girls, you just start viewing yourself as, is she prettier, is she better, is she this, that? And you just constantly now live in this position of, okay, you against someone else, and it shouldn't be because we're all different. We shouldn't be the same. The second thing is I stopped seeing life equal or equivalent to looks. Let me put this straight. Looks are important, okay? It's important to take care of yourself, but you should not make your appearance the main goal in life or the main priority or just your whole entire life. It shouldn't be idolized at all because there is so much more to life than just your looks, and I think I had to learn that the hard way because when you're put in this situation since you were a kid, it literally affects you really deeply. So when I started having my own head, my own mind, and started just growing up and having more maturity for myself, I realized, oh, this is not okay, this is a problem, this should be fixed. Although it was really difficult, I was able to get out of this cage because it's literally putting you in a position where you're stuck on only looks, and looks is not what it is. Life is not only looks. Although it's important, it's not something that should always be in your head, be thought of all of the time, because that's going to limit you. It's going to make you deprived of actually living life. And when your mindset is always focused on looks, it will make you not be able to live life to the fullest because you're always going to be cautious. You're always going to be focusing on how you look when it, yes, is important, but it's not supposed to be in your head 24/7. Always be consuming you. That's not what life is. It's going to consume a lot of that amazing life you could be living without thinking of that all of the time. The third one is I stopped being too self-cautious. I think that when you're always comparing yourself, you always just are in a state of you against someone else when it shouldn't be the case. And so when I stopped always viewing myself as me against someone, I just became more secure within myself, and I stopped always just being so cautious because when you're in this state, whatever kind of interaction you have, you're always just on yourself, basically you against the world, and making every single social interaction impossible because you're always thinking of yourself while trying to live life. And to be completely honest, the way I really went about this, because it was a really hard one, because the main thing is you're always going to be cautious about yourself because you're comparing yourself. So the main things that I did to actually get this out of myself and not just trying to get out of it by being delusional is I just started lowering my gaze. Lowering your gaze will do so much to you. It will prevent a lot of things. And I'm kind of contradicting myself saying this because maybe I would say a few months ago I was really big when it came to eye contact. Okay, I thought that eye contact was a really important language, which it is, but at some extent, because when your gaze is too aware or too up, I don't know, it will make you just consume a lot of energy out of someone, because I think we don't realize how powerful the eyes are. You can literally feel all the energy of someone and all of that human within them through their eyes. And when you stare at them in their eyes for too long, you kind of feel all of them within you. It's kind of scary to even think about, and I've been thinking about it for too long, but the eyes are connected to something, and it's quite scary. If you look at someone for too long, it will make you be connected to them, and that's quite scary. So ever since, I told myself that kind of has an effect on it, because it makes you consume what you're trying to avoid and what you're trying to heal. And when you're trying to heal, you need to kind of put yourself out of the situations that are making you get back into the wrong things. And I think that lowering your gaze will literally help you prevent a lot of things, and it will make you be able to see life as life without people, if that makes sense, without the consumption of people, which is the factor that makes you compare yourself. You see what I mean? But lowering my gaze was literally something that helped a lot, whether it was towards guys or girls. You know, it literally helped a lot, because yeah. The fourth one, which is a big thing for me, okay? I'm not saying it completely got rid of it, because it does have to do with other factors within me, but overthinking literally went down. Okay, I had less overthinking going on. And you know, when my life was mainly on comparison, or when I saw life as comparison or whatever, that was a time where I was mostly overthinking, and it was so bad. I overthink, but at that time it was terrible, to the point where I was not even able to control myself, my thoughts. And you know, when we're talking about comparison, once again, it's equal to people. You're comparing yourself to people. So when I had any sort of interaction with humans, you know, although I was not particularly thinking of anything while talking to the individual, maybe that after the interaction I would just see myself overthinking our conversation, because I was maybe trying to see if I said something wrong, if I could have said something better, just thinking of the most irrelevant things, but my brain just automatically overthinking the smallest things. And it's not as if I even wanted to, you know, think about those kind of little situations, but it just automatically went that way, because that sort of situation was affecting me deeply. So every single interaction with humans literally made me be in a position where I was overthinking the smallest things without even wanting to. And it was terrible, because you know, you interact with a lot of people in your day-to-day life, but being at a point where the smallest conversation, the person you don't really care much about to think about, literally constantly is in your head 24/7, you're always thinking about it, or just this automatic kind of situation going on with your brain for absolutely no reason, it's absolutely terrible. And when I was able to take control of myself and put myself in this position of, you know what, you have to stop this cycle by figuring out the root cause, which at the time was comparison, I was able to fix it by all these factors we're currently talking about. I was able to feel more free. I was able to feel less thoughts running around my head, and being in control of what I wanted to think, not having to think about the most random, smallest conversations. It felt more freeing, because I was able to fix the issue, which now leads to the fifth point, being I was able to gain my personality back. I think that when you are in this position of comparison, you're not able to fully be yourself, or you even lose a part of yourself, your identity, your personality, because you're in this position of always wanting to please others. When you're comparing yourself, you always want to be this perfect version of society in a way. So it's kind of not letting you be you because you're trying to be someone else, be something you are not, trying to be that version you are not. And so it kind of just puts you in a position where you're not able to be yourself, not able to show who you authentically are, even when you're meeting new people. Kind of this really stiff personality that shows as a no personality person, which isn't good because everyone should be their own person, everyone should have their own personality, everyone should act upon what they are and not by what they think other people might like. So when I stopped fixating my mind on other people and how people might perceive me or this perfect person or whatever, I started being me again. I started knowing who I was again, because when you're in this position, you kind of lose yourself because you're trying to be something you are not. So I was able to have myself back. I even forgot who I was authentically because that personality I had literally disappeared. It evaporated and I had to bring it back, and that was difficult because when you're trying to be something you are not, you lose yourself, you lose your identity. And so I had to ensure I was putting all the effort I could to not view people as my life, because when you're comparing yourself, people are literally your life because you are dependent of other people which are forming you. So that's when I realized I might as well be me because I love me, and why would you not love yourself? That's when you have yourself back, where you win yourself back in a way and are able to be yourself again. And when you're yourself again, you gain your personality right back, and that's the most important thing, because when everyone starts to have the same personality, what's the point of having multiple people on earth? We're supposed to be all different, and we're not supposed to want to be like someone else or try to please others. You're supposed to be yourself and only authentic to you. So I think that was a really important key factor that I really worked upon, that really made me stop that comparison game. Number 6 is I started having a better social life. I think that when you stop comparing yourself, you stop limiting yourself to interactions, because when you're constantly comparing yourself, you're cautious over yourself, you're this, that over yourself, all of these kind of emotions towards yourself. When you let go, you're able to talk to people normally because you're able to not overthink, you're able to have your personality back, have your personality be part of you. And when you're constantly comparing yourself, you kind of push away people without realizing it, because you're trying to be this picture perfect person, which whatever it is, right? So without even realizing it, you're pushing people away because you're not authentically you. When you're not authentically you, your body kind of responds in a way that pushes people away, because you're not attracting people because of you, but because of something that you are not. And it's either that you're not going to be with the right people for you, or that you are simply going to push them away because they're going to feel like you don't want to form that connection. Why? Because when you're not someone you are, it's unnatural. And when something's not natural, it kind of makes you reserved. And when you're reserved, you're not able to show yourself authentically to people because you're in this defensive mode of wanting to protect yourself. And when that happens, it just naturally pushes people away because they kind of feel that maybe you don't like them as much, or they just don't feel this welcoming kind of atmosphere that will make them push or strive for that connection to become a more valuable friendship. But yeah, when you stop being in this comparison kind of situation or position, you are able to just interact with people normally because you're not always focalized on yourself. You're not always just so attached to the idea of perfection. So the 7th one is depression. I don't know how to label it, to be honest, but when you are constantly comparing yourself, you literally kind of feel this depressive kind of atmosphere. I'm not saying that you're necessarily depressed or that I was when I was in this position, but the best way to describe it is this depressing kind of atmosphere, just always not feeling enough, not feeling good. You know, I don't really like the word depressing, so I think that it's just the best word to describe the feeling. But I just felt less of that feeling, which I don't like the word, okay? But anyway, I just felt less of that feeling because I was not really thinking of negative things. And when you're comparing yourself, it's always negative because you're not valuing yourself enough, right? So I felt less of it, or even really little of it, to be quite honest, because you know, when you're in that position, you always kind of go back home and you're like, oh my god, you don't feel enough, oh my gosh, people don't like you, oh my gosh, this, that, everything about you, right? This kind of victimized mindset. And that's just what happens when you compare yourself. You always blame yourself or blame others because you feel that there's something wrong with you. And you just need to know there's nothing wrong with you. Yes, there's obviously things you can improve within yourself, but that does not mean that someone's better than you or this, that. You're your own person. You're meant to be your own person. You're not supposed to be someone else. That's why you're your own body. That's why you're in that body, because you were meant to be in that. It is your body for a reason, right? So when you get out of this atmosphere of you against other people, you feel that, or I felt that feeling less, okay? I felt more happy. I felt more me. And when you get that negativity out of your life, it makes you feel happy, right? It makes you feel alive. It makes you feel that, wow, you're living life. And it makes you feel just as if it's not you against the world. And that's how it should be, right? And the next point, world's the eighth one, right? So I had more appreciation for myself, right? When you're against yourself, once again, you are not able to see yourself. You're not able to appreciate yourself. You're not able to appreciate what you were given. But when you put yourself in that uncomfortable situation of, okay, you need to figure out what's going on within yourself. You have to fix everything that's bad within yourself to be in control of you. You're able to see the good within you. You're able to see, wow, you're so lucky to have this full body. You're so lucky to be able to live this long. You're so lucky to be able to even have a body, a healthy body, all of these things. And then that's when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, wow, oops. That's when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, wow, I can't believe I was mistreating you for this long, when this is you, this is me, this is something you can't like change. It's just part of you, guys. Come on, like, you cannot change it. You have to be so appreciative of it because that's what you were given. It was given to you for a reason. Like, yes, there are times that you might say, oh, you're not at your best because you're not the fittest, but that does not mean you have to compare yourself. You're aware that there's things you want to change within yourself, and you can do something about it by being more fit, going out to the gym, or whatever it is to get to your goals. But that does not mean you have to compare yourself. Just because you have this goal does not mean you automatically have to compare yourself to someone. No, it's just you against you. It always is. It's not you against someone else. Does that someone else have the same exact body as you? Are they you? Do they have your DNA? Do they have your name? Are they you? No, you are your own person. We are all different. Although we're all human, we're all different. I'm my own person, you're your own person, and that's all it is. So we can only improve ourselves and only work to appreciate everything we are, because that's all you have at the end of the day. And wanting to be someone else will not change anything. The ninth point is I just started having this real confidence with myself, okay? Listen, I think that there's two different kinds of confidence when we're talking about this, okay? There's fake confidence and real confidence, okay? Obviously, it's The first one, fake confidence, is just you being delusional to the point where you think you're confident when you're actually not. You're just kind of covering all the negative things going on in your life to get all of these negative thoughts out of your head, but that doesn't necessarily mean you actually are confident. It's just that you are covering all the bad going on within your life, so you start believing false things, and you know that's false because you don't actually believe that. Your body knows you're lying. It's fake it till you make it type of thing, but let's be real, it does not work. It kind of backfires, and I've been through that. You kind of convince yourself, but then you realize that it's actually affecting you much more than you think. So when I started realizing how this confidence was fake, I realized, whoa, why is it fake? Oh, it's me against people. Oh, I should fix that. So I did, with lots of lowering my gaze and being myself and all of these factors we talked about. I was able to find myself. And when you find yourself, you're secure in yourself. And when you're secure in yourself, that's when you're able to build real confidence. Because when you're in this position of comparison, that confidence is only you feeling superior to someone. And that's not real. So since I was able to build that confidence, I was able to build myself, was able to actually know who I was able to build that confidence that I really believed in, that I not only believed in, but that I knew was within me, because I worked on myself to appreciate who I was and not see that confidence as me against the world, me against someone. No, it was how I viewed myself. Confidence is how you view yourself and not how other people might perceive you, or I don't know, guys. But confidence is really this feeling you feel within yourself of no one can break this image that you see yourself as, or all this work you put in yourself. No one will be able to break all this security you built within yourself, because you actually worked on all these bad things that were going on in your body and you were able to fix them, and now they're out, so it's not able to interfere with you, because now you're only experiencing good. And when you're experiencing good, you're able to apply all of these things, and that is real confidence, I would say. But we can talk about this in another video, I'm not going to lie. And now the 10th one, the very last one, is I was just able to live a better life quality overall. You know, when you're comparing yourself, your quality of life is really low, because you're not able to have this vision of life that makes you just amazed by life and not just by you and other people. Because when you view life as just life and not, I don't know how to explain it to you, but only when you get out of this comparison position that you will be able to see life as this beautiful thing, as this thing that brings you life. I don't know, guys, but when you view life as life, you're able to just feel free. You're able to feel alive. You're able to just feel this amazing feeling that is just unexplainable, to be quite honest. But that feeling I'm talking about, I started feeling when I stopped this bad habit and had more appreciation for myself and all of these things we really discussed. And yeah, guys, comparison is not worth it. It's not worth comparing yourself to others. It's just going to destroy you. It's going to destroy you to the point where you're not even going to know who you are, and it's not worth it. Try to actually work on yourself to the point where you understand where this comparison issue is coming from. And I know that a lot of it comes from nowadays social media, I would say, because you know we're always exposed to it, we're always consuming it, and without even wanting to, we kind of compare ourselves to other people we see on these platforms. And you know, I hope you're going to be able to work on this very intentionally so that you get this comparison idea out of your system, because it's going to make you be able to live life as life and not against people or whatever you want to call it. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys have anything to say, then put it in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video, and goodbye.